What's up? It's your friend Austin from Houston. Average days on the market in April 57. That's a big improvement from the last previous 4 months. But that's what April does. Tends to go down. Right now in May, we're about a weekend. We're at 48. Let's look at original price versus sold price over here. Look, I put this really small. List price 486. This is in May. So pretty high. Starting May pretty strong at $480,000 at the average sales price, even though in April, which is probably closer to where we're going to end up in May, average sales price was 427. So the average house is selling for 14 to 15% lower. Weird. 14% lower than what it's originally listed for. It's important. If you notice, this number right here tells you a really important story that houses that sell in the first month sell for more money. I've told you this. $462,000 was a number in April. If it sold less than 30 days, it sold for $462,000. And then month two, not even close. $389,000. That's like $73,000 difference. That's consistent. And this has been consistent every month. It gets worse. Month three, a home that sells in 61 and 90 days sold for 376,457. That's crazy. But it starts to go up. But don't be deceived or confused, because the reason why these numbers start to go up is because all those big multi-million dollar houses that are going to take 12 to 18 months to sell, they're starting to move. The $750,000 house is usually going to take 4 or 5 or 6 months or longer. But the principle at play is simple. Don't overprice your house. 6 months of inventory. This just means that in April, 1 month, for every 6 properties on the market, only 1 sold. So that's 6 months of inventory. That's crazy. This is a graph right here. And then coming down, we're going to look at new listings, active listings, and units sold, because this is a very interesting relationship. In April, we had close to 18,000. One of the second, probably the second in history, the second most listings in a single month. 17,935. Go back to May. You go back to a year ago, we had 18,000 listed in the 1 month, bringing us to a total of 48,000 units. And out of all of those houses, just houses, I'm not looking at condos or land or commercial, there's just single family houses, only 16% of them sold. Now, this is the big number. Currently, right now, on HAR in the Houston housing market, we have, for the first time in history, over 50,000 active listings on the market, single family homes only. 50,000. You go back to May last year, we hit 40,000 for the first time. You go to May the year before that, we hit 30,000. All those decades selling houses in Houston, we never had 30,000 active listings until May of 2024. We've never seen this much inventory. A third of this is new construction. Let's move on. So, new construction makes up a big part of what's happening in the real estate world right now. In fact, in April, we had 2,439 of all of those sales. That was new construction. That's 30%. 30% of all inventory is new construction. So last thing I want to look at is interest rates. This is average interest rates, yes, and it includes those 3.99% new construction loans. This is part of the reason why new construction is selling so well, is because of those very aggressive financing terms. 6.37%. That's an increase. So we came down, now we're going back up. Rates going back up. I'm not going to talk about the global economy or politics. They're just going up on average, all across the board. So what do I think is going to happen? I don't know. There's some instability. Right now, if you are in a position to buy real estate and you haven't yet, you are wasting time. This market is stagnant, and there's no way it's going to stay stagnant. It may be like this for a couple more months. It may be like this for a couple years. I don't know, but it's stagnant. When you look at the average sales price of a house, wherever that is, I mean, they're just kind of sitting there. But if you can go back to the previous 3 years, big difference. So it doesn't take long. What happens when market changes, it's kind of like a frog in boiling water. You don't know what's going on until it kind of passes you by. And so when these values start to go back up, you're not going to realize it until it's like, oh, you're going to miss the train. That trend line's going to go down, and at some point it's going to come up, but you cannot predict it. So go out and buy something. If you don't need to sell, I would say don't sell. If you need to sell in the future, prepare. You're competing with new construction, make sure your home is perfect. If you have commercial, make sure everything is buttoned up and tight. So when you do go to market, you're going to be in the strongest position because you have a lot of competition, and lenders, both on the residential and commercial side, are scrutinizing the property heavily. So you're competing with new construction. You need to pretend like you're new construction. You need to present yourself like new construction, or it's not going to sell. That's really what's going on right now. So again, I'm Austin from Houston. I'm here to help you with your real estate needs and desires, your real estate questions, and the mysteries of real estate. Call me. Bye.